Hi guys, it's Mary coming to you with another FritzyVille basket. So if you want to see what I got on my face, what I'm switching out, what I thought of all the things that I had in for the month, just keep watching. The eyeshadows that I had in this month were my palette, Blessed, and Mel's palette, Tiny Marvels. I didn't do a lot of Mantis this time, which is my favorite shade in there. You could probably tell if you turn it this way that it's got a pretty big gully in it, and I'm not worried because I have like 2 backups of this palette and Mel's prototype that she sent me because she never wanted me to run out of Mantis. But probably the shades that were used the most this month were Bugaboo and Spider, Love Spider, Web, Tree Hopper, and then I just used this palette alongside of my palette, which I guess we might as well just concede to the fact that every month I may as well just keep this in here. And you know, I'm going to quit apologizing for this because, like, what would that be? A cash grab or something? If I had a palette that I made, these are my favorites, blah, 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 and then I never use it? Okay, so obviously everything I want, desire, and love is in this palette. So I bring things in and I use them during the month with it, but this is always going to be in here, okay? It just is. So, of course, I went through a My Savior, and now I have another My Savior in here because these pop out. If you didn't know it, magnets will pull it right out. I approved for Sydney Grace to sell My Savior as a single in both the light and the dark versions. So, because if you do with that shade what I intended, then you are going to run out of it. So Tiny Marvels is going back, keeping in Blessed, and what I'm going to bring in addition to Blessed is the new Sigma Spectrum palette. Funny thing about this is about a year ago, I guess, I emailed Simone from, you know, the co-owner of Sigma, and I said, why don't you make a total matte palette? Just nothing but mattes, because they do wonderful job on their mattes and stuff. But, you know, I tend to try and stay away from these little sparkly shadows that have little microscopic glitters in them. As you know, if you're already part of the Fritzy family. Okay, that's why you won't find that in here. But anyway, shameless plug.
It's shameful.
Anyway, back on topic. About a year ago, I asked her, hey, can you guys make
a neutral matte.
Can you guys make a neutral matte palette? And she told me, yes, that is in the works. Okay, and I was like, yay, and I wonder, is this it? Because as you can tell, there are only 5 shades in here that aren't a neutral matte. In any case, we're going to bring this in and use it all month, give her a spin for 30 days and see how we like that. And I'm just going to start with it today. I did just take my finger and put My Savior through the crease so that I could blend easier without dragging. But I may go ahead and just put that all over my lid. And while I'm getting a brush to do that with, these are what they looked like before I got into them. And I did promise you guys swatches, so here those are. I'm just going to do a quick neutral look, but I'm not going to be using anything down here because I think Sigma threw them in there for the youngins and those of us in the mature community who don't mind this sparkly stuff. And I'm, of course, going to be in my own palette for that. The primer I used all month was the Tatcha Silk Canvas. It was okay. Some days I just use this all by itself. I didn't even put on a foundation. We're going to put this back now, and I'm going to bring in the Laura Geller Spackle. And this is a hydrating primer. Let's bring some nourishment into the mix here. As you can see, it's very hydrating. I don't use moisturizer as my last step of my morning skincare when this is my primer. I just use this. Unless I'm not wearing makeup. But, you know, if I'm going to put on makeup, I just rely on Spackle to hydrate my skin in place of my moisturizer. Nothing against this, but I do want to say it didn't mix very well with the foundation. What a mess I had this month in foundation. But anyway, I'm going to put this back and keep it for another day. While that's setting down, let's talk about the eyeliners. I had a good month with my eyeliners. This was brand new when I brought it in. And my friend Fatima, okay, she lives in New York. She said, get this, because I was worried about not being able to get the Give Beauty eyeliner I love. I need a black liner that will go into my tight line, not transfer down to my waterline, and stay there. And this does. So it's by Bepholan. I also had Maybelline the Skinny in here, just in case this didn't work out over the month. If you have a problem with putting eyeliner in your tight line or your waterline and poking yourself in the eyeball, Maybelline the Skinny is probably your answer. Really like that. I'm going to put it back. I am going to keep this in here. Let's go ahead and do my tight line. I have had problems this month skipping over the top of my eyelashes and getting onto my eyeshadow. If you also have that problem, I think I just drug some. I did. Right there. If you also had that problem, put on your mascara first. It'll thicken up your lash line enough to keep this from going through. But I like to put black in my tight line, and this is a good one. And I think I only paid like $8 for this. So good solution. Only thing I don't like is it's a retractable, but I think I'm going to be able to see when I'm running out. Possibly. I don't know, but this is staying. Maybelline Skinny is going back in the drawer. And I also had kind of not wanting to put this back. My Lisa Eldridge. I think this is in Coffee Grounds. It's brown, so creamy, soft, and I have enjoyed all month running it right down here in the very corner of my lash line, smearing it over and, you know, not going all the way, not putting it in my tight line, just right there, you know, and smearing it. It's beautiful. I love this thing. I kind of don't want to put it up. But we will, because I want to bring back in the Sephora Coconut eyeliner. I miss putting it in my waterline. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this in the waterline today. And in place of the Lisa Eldridge, I'm going to bring in this one. It's also a brownish color. Let's show you what it is. In the new Laura Mercier Caviar line eyeliners, because I just want to know, like, use them for 30 days. What do I think? I'm putting this right where I have eyeshadow, by the way. Can't really tell you much about an eyeliner that I use one time and then put it away. So I want to spend a month and see how I like their new formula. And I'll use it like I did the Lisa Eldridge. Let me show you this beautiful thing. Oh, it's wonderful. You know what this reminds me of? Lancome Stila. That's what those remind me of. Beautiful. The mascara situation. That's the part of this basket that doesn't ever really change much because it takes 3 months to go through a mascara. You'll have to stick around till the end to see in the wasted or the emptied parts what I used up, but I'm going to show you what I still have in here. I have 2 tubing mascaras and 1 mascara that's on its way out. I don't want to open anymore yet. I have this primer that's in here because I wanted to try it out. It's from Essence. It's green. I just talked about this in favorites videos. Let's put a little bit of that on. I don't know if you can tell this is greenish or not, but so far I like this and I'm going to keep that in here. I also picked up one of these, so that's kind of new. This is on its way out, okay, because it's been used and abused for a long time. I still have Caliray in here, but it's getting toward the end of its life, and that's okay because, like I said, I have this in here. And I also did a review on new makeup I bought from Sephora during the Sephora sale. And I purchased this tubing mascara. It's a new one from Too Faced. This is Too Faced's first, I believe, tubing mascara. I really, really like it. And one of the reasons is because of the end of this. See, it's got spikies on the end of this that help separate. But this tubing mascara is beautiful. I love it. Let me put on some mascara really quick. When it came to foundation, I cheated this month. I'll talk about that in the wasted section. But what I brought in to take the place of the concealer and the foundation that I stopped using was the Natasha Denona. This stuff is just beautiful. And Laura Mercier's Real Flawless. These two work very well together. Beautiful, no complaints. Love them both so much. Like I said, I'll talk to you about the other at the end. But in any case, I've been dying and chomping at the bit.
Is that how a horse goes? The frog goes, ribbit, ribbit. Remember this CNC?
What I'm bringing in is my new Dior. I just bought this. Well, not this. I've had this. This is so good. It convinced me to buy this. And I want to give this puppy a try for 30 days. And I'm also going to bring in the compact, but I am not going to use this with this to set my face, just to touch up, because this is also a foundation. It's a powder foundation. Cake face if I use these two together, other than, you know, just touching up my nose or whatever. So won't be doing that. The powder that I had in here that I was setting my foundation with was Long Time No Shine, and look where we are. It is almost gone, and I'm not going to call that quits, okay, because this is a fantastic powder that I know I will replace. In any case, because this is so far gone, almost gone, I'm going to keep it in here, but it won't carry me the rest of the month, so I am going to bring in Sigma's powder. I haven't used this in a while, the Soft Focus Setting Powder in Vanilla Bean. And this will take Long Time No Shine's place, but let's get the concealer on. End of last year was a big thing for me and Dior. Dior is one of these brands that, like, I've tried a little bit of stuff with them, but not a lot of stuff with them. I discovered the best way for me to use that is just to put a little bit on my ring finger and then tap, tap, tap together and put it on that way. Anyway, at Christmas time last year, Dior sent me their, it's a limited edition face palette. And I love that so much. I thought, well, maybe I have misjudged Dior. Maybe I should give Dior another try. And I purchased this concealer and this powder. Fell in love with both. So look at that. Also, that I won't have to set. If I do, it'll just be very, very lightly. This concealer situation made me wonder about the foundation that I keep looking over and going, no, I don't think so, you know. Well, I tried it when I first got it from Sephora in the video where I put on all the stuff I bought from Sephora. So I want to spend some time with it, obviously, because I just bought it, and that's a waste of money. But also because I want to know, like, is it a foundation like this that's so good that I'll love wearing it every single day of my life? I don't know. We shall see. So I'm going to take one pump of it and let's just dot it. Now, it'll probably take two because I'm going to put it on with a sponge. That's my favorite way to put on foundation. So tell me below, what is your favorite summer foundation? What exciting things do you guys have planned for this summer? You remember I said when we went to DC, that was my last trip. I guess I'm just not meant to travel, but I'm itching to go someplace now. Shy Guy goes, we don't have to go someplace for a week. You know, we could just jump on a plane and go spend the day on the beach and then come back again. I mean, it's expensive to do that, but we don't do well sleeping in new places. It's kind of like a Dior month, right? I decided, hey, I paid a lot of money for this bronzer I just bought too. I want to spend some time with it. So I'm not going to put that in a drawer. I'm going to bring it in here. And then just the other day, Laura Mercier sends me all of their new bronzers. It's a dual bronzer situation. This is highlighty and this is matte. And I swirl my brush between them. And I have tried this for a couple of days and I love it. And I'm like, oh, do I love it more than this? I only used this once. So I'm going to bring them both in. And what are they replacing? They're replacing the YSL. As you can see, you can no longer read YSL on there. It has been worn completely off. I like taking my finger and putting it on my nose and then really digging in there with a brush because this is a light shade. It's their lightest shade and I can afford to go ham with my bronzer, which is something I really love to do, but not have that streak look. I'm going to have to be careful because this is also the lightest shade of Dior and it's darker. Let's grab this brush right here. It's a 30 from Rephr, so it's going to be very light because it's a powder brush actually. And I'm going to, this got a scent to it. And I didn't know what the scent was until I watched my friend Heba. She also bought some stuff, and this. She said jasmine is the smell. I'm tempted to put the Laura Mercier on the other side, but I don't want two different kinds of bronzer. I'm not gonna, I'll just use this. But in any case, I want to spend a whole month with the Dior and the Laura Mercier, and at the end of this next coming month, you will know which one I think is the better one. Also, I'm a little torn because Laura Mercier also sent me a new shade of their blush, and you know how much I love Laura Mercier blushes. This one is in Strawberry. I want to use that all month, but I have this picked out because I bought this in the Sephora sale, and I want to know. I don't know why I want to know. I already know that Benefit blushes are good. I know Hula's good too, but I'm not going to use Hula since I already have, well, some days I might. I might just scroll through all of it. In fact, I'm just going to go through these two today and just right on the top of my cheeks. This is a real fluffy brush. So just right there on the tops, I'm going to put this blush. I also love, one of my favorite highlighters is by Benefit, and it is Cookie. Cookie is so good. Now both of these, Willow and Dandelion, are just gorgeous with just, you know, a flush of color that I think is so pretty. So that's coming in. This is the blush that was in here, and this might just be because it's the color pink it is, but you got to be very careful with this blush. Oh my goodness. I mean, just a little bit. I think you could have this blush for like 10 years because it just takes a slight swipe across there and you're there, okay? Be careful also because it's a very soft formula and some of it broke off, okay? See right down here, this broke off onto the floor, and it's a good thing I caught it because I would have tracked it everywhere. Darn it, I forgot to tell you about the YSL powder that I spent time with all month. Gorgeous, not disappointed. This sets beautifully. It's beautiful on its own. It's translucent, even though it is white in color. It's gorgeous. Love that. I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you about that. This is replacing that for powdering my nose and whatnot. All right, so the highlight that I used all month was my Lancome, and this one is in rose gold. Guys, I dropped this on the floor, not once, but twice, and it did not break. Amazing. And I used it with this fan brush. Just down my nose, on the tops of my cheeks. Absolutely gorgeous. I did have to put a little bit of my Sydney Grace, I love that nail polish, on this. It's iridescent. It's purple iridescent. I did have to put that on there though, because when this was brought out, Lancome wasn't smart enough to, like, all the packaging is the same, right? So you don't know, is this my dual intensity powder or is this my highlighter? Now Lancome is changing their packaging so you can tell the difference between things, but that's what that's doing on there. I bet you'll never guess what highlight I'm bringing in. Dior. It's a Dior month. Let me know below. Would you guys like it if I did a FritzyVille basket that was all one brand? I mean, this seems like it's kind of that way. Would you guys like it if I did, like, I've considered doing a FritzyVille basket with nothing but e.l.f. in it for 30 days just to see, like, can I survive on just e.l.f.? Let me know below because I want to do whatever you guys will want to watch. Obviously, it hurts my heart to do videos that you don't watch, so let me know that. And so yeah, the Dior highlighter's coming in, the Lancome is going back. The setting spray that I used all month was my LYS. I love this, has a very fine mister on it. Give it a shake and very, very fine.
Very, very fine. It's very fine. She's so fine.
She's fine. She's fine.
And I'm bringing in my Charlotte Tilbury airbrush because I gotta know, like, is this still my favorite setting spray? Because that peach and lily stuff get one in my heart big. So I'm bringing this back in just to see. So in the eyebrow video, I was talking to you guys about this. Jane, this is the YSL Touche Éclat Radiant Concealer Pen. I was saying how expensive this is to clean up your brows with, but I love doing that. I'm going to keep this in here, okay? But I kind of want to finish this. I mean, look where we are. It's not going to be very much. I mean, we're like meeting in the middle here. I bet I've got a couple more sharpens in this. It's only going to go so far. It'll meet in the middle.
Stuck in the middle with you. Woo-hoo.
Make it stop, please! Make it stop!
I don't know where this black on this pencil is coming from because obviously nothing here is black. Oh, you idiot. It's just the writing on the pencil.
Serious, this can't go very much farther, so let's just keep it in here. Also, one of the reasons that I don't like it is because obviously I don't have on my glasses while I'm doing my makeup, and I keep having to put on my glasses to see which end is the champagne end and which end is the pink end, and I wish Benefit had never done that. I wish that I think that's the champagne end. I wish that they had just kept it the way it used to be in the olden days, remember, when it was just one thing, and I loved that. So yeah, I'm just going to put highbrow up here, high on my brow. And I'm being an idiot because I've not even done my brows yet. And yet, here I go. Whatever. What I had in here all month was this. Benefit Detailer. Love, love. Goof Proof. Love, love. If you want, watch the eyebrow video if you want to see me explain how I do my brows. But 2 brow pens are also in here because I like to use all these products together. Now, I had this in here because I wanted to see if it was going to flick because the lift and snatch. Is that what it's called? Not the bend and snap.
And snap.
Okay, well that pen, the last couple of times I used it, flicked the ink everywhere. Couldn't ruin, my pajamas. Had to ruin. Anyway, so I love this pen the most now. It is the Build a Brow by Maybelline. And then I saw L'Oreal has this one, and this has 2 prongs. In any case, I'm putting Build a Brow back. I'm going to put these back, and I'm bringing in my Florasis pencil, and this is in gray. I'm going to use this, and I'm keeping this one in here to have contrast. This is a dark brown. This is a grayish color. We don't need to talk about this. I just did a whole video on it. So let me come back after I've got my brows on. So the only thing left is my mouth. And you guys, I got an eye winker that is wandering the wrong way. It's going like that because
She's a wanderer. Yeah, wanderer. She wanders in my eye, my eye, my eye, my eye.
So I primarily cheated. No, I primarily used my Natasha Denona in Avriel and used Maxor lip pencil, which still one of my most favorites, and it also went with this, which I was cheating with, the new YSL liquid lip. I'm going to go ahead and keep this in here because if I'm going to just cheat, I may as well keep it in. But I like wearing this when I'm going to go out to eat or whatever. I don't want to mess with putting my lipstick back on, and it goes well with Soar. But I'm going to put both of those up, and I'm going to try to spend the month with these 2. So these are L'Oreal Colorish in the shade Worth It. And I have the lip liner, and I also have the lipstick. So let's see. Now it is a little pinker. I like it to be more like Soar. But we're in the summertime, so I might be able to be faithful to this for a month. Pop this on top for a little bit of luxurious shine. Emptied things first. I went through a Cils Booster XL, so that is going to go in the trash. This is an eyelash primer for those of you who don't know it, and I have used this probably since it first came out. So that one's all gone. I used up a Benefit Bounce. Really liked this. This is Bad Gal Bounce. And I also went through this Lancome Idole. This is the new Flutter extension. Really like this. One of the things I love the most is the wand. See how little this wand is? It's Really great for getting on the underneath sides of your eyelashes. I found that it does pretty good here on the corner lashes. Really like that. But this is going to be more separating and elongating than the regular Lash Idole. But I really love them both, and I really love them together. Now for the stuff I quit using for some reason. If you remember, I brought in this powder, my Lancome Dual Intensity, which I still like as a touch-up. Do not like this thing to set my foundation or anything. Just like the Dior is a little much for me. It provides a nice cake face. And I think that's because this is also a foundation. But the whole reason for bringing this in for a month was to see, do I like this or the Dior one better? And I like the Dior one better than... Finally, the scent on this has dissipated. I might keep this in my purse. That wasn't wasted. Or finished, was it? My first wasted product then is the Sigma Eye Stick. And you know, this eyeshadow base in Ignite, I've told you so many times this is my favorite. Look, that's how much was left of it, and I have to waste it. It wasn't performing. It wasn't letting me blend my eyeshadows. And I know it was this and not the eyeshadows because it was Tiny Marvels. It was blending patchy. And I thought, you don't suppose that this is old. So I pulled in the MAC and yeah, it blended fine then. And I don't know, this might be 2 years old. But the reason I've always said I love this is because it's like MAC paint pot in a stick. So you don't have to get a brush dirty. You don't have to stick your fingers down in it. It's a stick. Love it. Yes, I'll be picking up another one, but this one's got to go bye-bye. This is my Natasha Denona, and this is the I Need a Rose collection. So they have the I Need a Nude, which I told you about earlier in the video, and then they have the I Need a Rose. That's the shade, and there's nothing wrong with this shade. Let's just say this. It's not Avriel. I made myself a promise that I wasn't just going to hang on to shades of lipstick anymore because they'll go bad. All right? I wasn't just going to hang on to shades of lipstick anymore that I'm not like goo goo gaga over. And this one I'm not. So I'm wasting it. And I think I might send this to my friend Michelle. I got a box going to go head her way. So I think I will send this to her and see if she likes it any better. I prefer the I Need a Nude line, in particular, Avriel. Probably going to send this to my friend Michelle also because she wears the same shade foundation I do, and see if she has any better luck with it. If not, she can just pitch it out. We'll make her the bad guy. We'll make Michelle throw stuff away. But this is Givenchy. It's breaking my heart to even think about throwing that in the trash. And nobody I know around me wears my shade. So I'm going to send this and this to Michelle and see how she likes it. And, you know, Michelle, if you're watching, if you already have this, just pitch it if you want or give it to somebody else. I just can't. Okay. So I don't know if it doesn't like Tatcha primer, if it hates Lancome powder, or what the deal is with this now. Maybe I used this with their powder, which I loved, you know. Maybe something magic happens when those three are put together. I don't know. All I know is I gave this about a week. And every day I thought, I look polka dotty.
Polka dot, polka dot, polka dot.
I don't know. We'll find out if Michelle has the same problem, but I am going to waste those. Tell me below, because this is a participation thing. What did you guys use up this month? Did you waste anything? Tell me that too. We all have to read that and know what you wasted and why. Nobody wants to buy crap. I hope that you guys know how much I love you and that you are the best part of the Fritzy family. If you're not having a blessed day, go out and be a blessing to somebody else. And if the Lord's willing, I'll see you next time. Love you. See ya. Bye. And I'm out.